Hi guys, welcome to the JL Circus challenge. My name is Kaveh Rahnama, most of you know me already. The first one of these sessions we did covered object balancing. So we found everyday objects that we had at home and we stacked them on top of each other. But this week's, I thought we'd focus on juggling, again using objects that we can find in our home. So, I'm going to start fairly simple. Juggling, this is a juggling ball. This video, just to be clear, is aimed at mostly JL Circus, hi JL Circus, but it's also aimed at anyone really who wants to either learn how to juggle and start to play with objects in a different way, or in a way that they, rather than just using juggling props, they can use other objects as well. Cool. Most of you, JL Circus guys, said you had juggling balls at home. Those of you who don't, I will help find a solution for that during this video, so bear with me. But we're going to start with this juggling ball, and we're going to start with finding something in your home to use for catching instead of your hand. So I found this handy wooden spoon which has got a scoop in it, so any spoon will do. You can use a metal spoon or whatever you want, preferably with a large enough kind of scoop in it. And normally we catch the ball in our hand like that, and as we kind of catch it, our hand is in a bit of a scoop, right? That's what catches. So we're going to just use the ladle. We're going to start with it as close to the end of our hand as we can. So it's just there. And then you're going to practice throwing and catching. All right? Good. As you get more and more confident with that, you're going to start moving your hand down the stick. So the spoon end is now further away from my hand. And just practice throwing and catching. Now, lots of you, if I've taught you before, or if you're watching this for the first time, you may have tried different tricks with a juggling ball. So I may start like throwing a juggling ball under your arm if you're in your first session with me, or you might start throwing it under your leg, or you might start throwing it over your shoulder, or you might start throwing it under your arm like that. What I'd like to do, if you're feeling confident and you start to really get your throws and catches with your spoon, is to start to play with different tricks. So you might throw it under there and then catch it in your hand, or throw it under there and catch it on the spoon. This is a really nice one, it's a nice one for throwing behind your back and catching it like that. So start to practice different throws. You can also start to throw it and catch it with the spoon, the bonus point. So behind my back, throw it, woohoo! Use a bit of practice, guys. You probably have more time than me. Here it is, throw it behind my back, catch it in my hand. Yeah, in the spoon, sorry. Behind my back, catch it in the spoon. Cool. So that's just the first kind of bit of the challenge. As you get more confident, what I want you to do is make the object you're catching with more difficult. Now, from a performance point of view, I'm not sure if people care about this, but from a personal challenge point of view, it's really satisfying to start trying to catch it with, like, this is just a flat spoon, so you can see what I'm doing there. And then you can start trying to catch it. I've got a ruler here. This is pretty tricky, actually. Again, you want objects that are fairly flat. I'm trying to catch it on the ruler. It's quite hard, especially if you get any height on it. Woohoo! Really hard. So practice that, guys. So this is choosing an object as an extension of your arm, throwing and catching a juggling ball with it. Of course, you can start to use other objects. An orange. Quite hard, but yeah, there you go. That's the first challenge. Second one, we're going to talk about juggling a little bit now. So juggling props mostly revolve around three basic items, and of course people invent things around that. Your basic one is a ball. So this is what most people learn with, because it's soft, it's squidgy, it's easy to hold, it's a good weight, and more importantly, whatever it does in the air, it lands the same in your hand. So there's a juggling ball, easiest to juggle, lots of patterns, lots of things you can do with that. Next up, we've got your juggling ring. So these look kind of cool from the front, but they look even cooler from the side, because we've got that lovely ring shape you can see there. And lots of kind of contemporary jugglers do really cool stuff. They kind of put it on their elbows and their heads and balance and all sorts of stuff. This might be my personal favourite juggling prop to look at. When people do it really well, I think it's really beautiful to look at. It's kind of magical, and I like the circularness. Finally, juggling club. There's millions of varieties of these, and these are super popular kind of contemporary juggling objects, possibly because they offer so many possibilities. I never really learnt these. When I learnt to juggle, I learnt with balls. I lived in a really small house, and we didn't really have the space. And so when I was learning to juggle, balls were the kind of natural go-to thing. But if you've got a bigger house or go outside, they can blow around outside, but you can try anyway. These are juggling clubs. Now, I'm imagining most of you don't have these objects, or the juggling clubs and rings anyway, at home. So what I'd like you to do is start to understand that anything can be a circus prop. Anything. So last week we did stuff with balancing tins and books and everything else. This week we've done a little bit with the throwing and catching on a different object. I'd like to start to find replacement juggling objects, thinking about the properties we're looking for. So a ball just has to go up and down, right? So an orange could be a ball, no problem. The ring, I started to find these little rolls of sellotape. So we've got a little roll of sellotape there. It's very light. My favourite ring replacement or ring-like object was this, which is a solid, it's just a Tupperware lid. And it's square, and I really like the aesthetic of it. I really like the shape it makes in the air and the fact that it kind of does like a little spinny star thing. That made me very happy. It's quite pleasing. Or think about what sounds objects make. So this is what's this, guys? Fun fact. This is my baby's rattle, Roshan. It was also my rattle when I was a baby. So there's pictures of me with this rattle. And there's also pictures of Roshan now with this rattle, which makes me happy. But also a good replacement juggling prop. It's got a bell inside it, so offers for a good thing. Juggling clubs, a nice replacement object would probably be like these ladles that we used at the beginning for catching a juggling ball, where you've got one end that's kind of heavier. Oh, this is a good one. And experiment, play around. So I want you to find replacement juggling props. Ladle, could be a club, Tupperware lid, could be a ring, orange, could be a juggling ball. And then what you're going to do, guys, if you're kind of at the beginning of your juggling journey, I just want you to find a few things you could do with that object. So I use this because it's my favourite. You could do the classic, you could throw that under your leg, you could throw it over your shoulder, you could flip it a different way, so you could flip it like that, so you're catching it like that. See what you can come up with. Can we roll it along our arm? No. Work out what you can do. You could have it on your head, you could flip it off, all sorts of stuff. Let's see what you come up with various props in your house. And then finally, if you are a juggler and you're like, yeah, I can do 3 balls, and you want to challenge yourself, you are going to try this. You're going to replace one of your juggling balls with the object, so that you're juggling 2 balls, 1 object. And if you get super flash, you can replace 2 objects instead of 2 juggling balls, sorry. So you've got, there you go, we've got a kind of spatula, a Tupperware lid, and a juggling ball. Oh, almost forgot myself, guys. I forgot to give you this challenge. Rewinding back to the previous one, the arm extension. Here's our spoon. Oops, professional. Here's our spoon. If you get really comfortable with your that prop, you can start juggling with using that as your hand. So I'm gonna try. Whoa! It's quite hard, but try that. And you notice the rhythm is really weird. It's because I'm scared. But try that as well. So you've got arm extension, juggling. You've got object replacement. The world is your oyster. You can use any object to replace these things. Yeah, spoons are good. Finally, guys, you may not have juggling balls at home. If you're JL Circus, you probably have juggling balls at home. If you're not JL Circus, you may not have juggling balls. You may be like, stumbled across this video on the internet. Who's this guy rambling away at us? So I thought I'd show you a really basic way of making a juggling ball. Super simple. I'm going to bring in my chair. So, the thing you want to do is recreate it. So a couple of, lots of things get suggested. By the way, if you can hear sounds over there, it's my baby. He was sleeping and now he is not sleeping. He's bouncing up and down, but I'm keeping him entertained. He's not made really a peep and he's just watching me like, what is my dad doing? But yeah, so to replace the juggling ball, here it is. People talk about using tennis balls. Got a tennis ball here. That is perfect. It's spherical, it's fine. But the problem with it is the weight. I think most jugglers would agree. It's hard to, it's just not as easy to catch. It's got a bit of bounce to it. So as you're catching it, it doesn't sit in your hand as well. Other things that you can use them, by all means, try it. Nothing is off limits. Oranges are good and any kind of round spherical fruit, although anyone who's looking after you and buys the fruit buyer in your household may get annoyed at you using their fruit. Socks are often suggested. Socks are fine, like rolled up socks. Again, similar to tennis ball, actually, they're quite light and they're actually not that easy to grab hold of, especially when you've got three sets of them. So my suggestion is this humble bag of rice, guys. Again, if you've got other ways of making juggling balls, by all means tell me. But I found this super simple way of doing it today, actually. So here's what I made earlier. All I did to explain it was I took a little plastic bag. Try and find a plastic bag that's quite, not the ones that are super firm and heavy, but quite a thin, cheap plastic bag, basically. Check it's got no holes in it. And all you're going to do is you're going to take some rice. So I've got a bag of rice here. This is about just over a cup's worth of rice, around about a cup's worth of rice. And that feels slightly heavier than a juggling ball, but about right. So I'm going to use this fancy measuring cup, which is a third of a cup here. Just use a mug, guys. Don't worry about measuring cups. Get your mug, half fill it, I'd say, with the rice. So I'm going to take, spill a bit of rice there. A third of a cup. And 2/3 of a cup. And they're in the bag now. I reckon that's about right. 2/3 of a cup of rice. Try to get it in there like that. So yeah, that's good. Then there's a baby, not entertained anymore. He's making a juggling ball. Take your bag, put it all together, knot it like that, and get your knot as close to the bag as you can. There you go. And then, because if whoever's looking after you, they may be worried that the bag will split or whatever. They are right to be worried. It may split. Don't go throwing this at any water or anything. This is like a temporary solution until we find our own juggling balls. Pair of scissors, literally as close as you can to the knot, or give it a little bit of room, but there's your juggling ball, guys. If you want a bit of extra security, I've done it on this one. I've just got a hairband, or you can use an elastic band, and just wrap that round between the knot and the rice. So it's just, in case the knot comes undone, you've still got a little security thing. There's your bag. There's your replacement juggling ball. Works perfectly fine. Here's your challenge, guys. So I'm not massively kind of crafty and artsy when it comes to making these kind of things. So I've gone for the plastic bag approach, which I hope you try and I hope you manage to do. However, it doesn't look that great. So what I'm going to lay down for you as a challenge is I'd like to see you guys making your own juggling balls. So taking rice, or to be honest, any kind of seed. You could use lentils, you could use sesame seeds, probably starts to get a bit more expensive. But use any kind of grain you like, really. Cheap is good. Pour it into some kind of vessel. So you could use the end of a sock, you could use some fabric if you put it in a ball and then sewed that together. What I'd like to see is a really well decorated set of juggling balls. So this time next week for JL Circus, or if you're outside JL Circus, please feel free, video yourself using them and drop a line. Just find Jackson's Lane and you can tag them in the video. That's all for today. Just to recap, we had the object as an arm extension. We had finding different objects to juggle around the house and what you can do with them. And then we had making your own juggling ball right at the end. I've enjoyed picking this week's challenges. Next week, in 2 weeks' time, the challenges are going to be much more physical and based around kind of keeping fit inside and preparing your body, like getting it ready for acrobatic shapes and stuff like that. So that's the next instalment. Hope you've enjoyed today's and see you all soon. Take care and look after each other. Bye bye.